In Formula One, there's always a few drivers who seem to get the fans worked up. Some people love them and some people can't stand them. Formula One is all about speed, excitement, and competition, and while fans worldwide love many drivers, there are always a few who tend to get the fans worked up. Some people love them, some people can't stand them, but one thing is for sure, they always provide an exciting race. So who are the drivers that fans love to hate? Well, here's a few of the most controversial Formula One drivers in recent memory. First up is Michael Schumacher. The ultimate F1 pantomime villain, Michael Schumacher is as close to his real embodiment of Dick Dastardly from the Wacky Races cartoon as you can get. All he needed was a mustache and the resemblance would have been striking. He's one of the most successful Formula One drivers in history, but he's also one of the most polarizing figures in the sport. During his time with the Ferrari, Schumacher was often accused of being overly aggressive and using controversial tactics to win races. His clash with other drivers, particularly with Damon Hill and Jacques Villeneuve, made him his enemies along with many Formula One community. Even years after his retirement, Schumacher is still a divisive figure in Formula One. Next up, Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel is one of the most successful Formula One drivers in history and has one of the biggest fan bases of any driver. However, he also has the fair share of haters. Some say it's because of the frosty relationship with Mark Webber, while others say they're just bored with his dominance. While the Germans played the pantomime villain this season, he's also been the favorite of the Boo Boys during his victory celebrations. Perhaps like Michael Schumacher, Vettel has become a victim of his success. It surely can't be because he's German too. Despite putting on a brave face, Vettel says he has been hurt by the reception he has received on the podium at times this season. In an interview with BBC Sport, Vettel said, "It's very difficult for me to personally receive boos, even though you haven't done anything wrong. At the time it hurts not to get the reception you'd expect, but I think I'm clever enough to understand why they do it." But whatever the reason, there's no doubt that Sebastian Vettel is a driver that fans love to hate. Next is Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso is one of the most successful Formula One drivers of all time. He has won 32 Grand Prix races and 2 World Championships, but his success has not always been popular with fans. Some fans feel that he is arrogant and self-centered. They're often too quick to boo him during podium appearances. There's no doubt that Alonso is a fiercely competitive driver who wants to win all costs, but some say that this desire to win can sometimes lead to bad decisions on the track. For example, in the 2013 German Grand Prix, Alonso crashed into his teammate Lewis Hamilton while trying to overtake him. Despite his detractors, Alonso remains one of the most popular drivers in Formula One, and it is hard to argue with his record of success. Next, Jacques Villeneuve. Jacques Villeneuve succeeded early on in his career and then slowly fizzled out. Some fans love him for his aggressive driving style and ability to win races, while others despise him for his arrogance and tendency to crash in other cars. Villeneuve started racing in Formula One in 1996 and quickly established himself as one of the top drivers in the sport. He won the World Championship in 1997 and followed that up with another championship in 2001. He was also a runner-up with both 1998 and 1999. Villeneuve's career was cut short after a crash at the Italian Grand Prix in 2006. He has since moved into NASCAR, where he had moderate success despite his success on the track. Villeneuve has developed a reputation for being arrogant and cocky. He's been involved in several collisions with other drivers that have been known to make inflammatory statements about his rivals. Many fans see Villeneuve as a talented driver who's a bit of a hothead. Others view him as an egotistical jerk who is nothing more than a crashing machine. Next, we have Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton has won the World Championship 3 times and is considered one of the best drivers in the sport, but even with all of his talent, Hamilton has his share of haters. Some people don't like Hamilton because they think he's arrogant and cocky. Others believe he gets preferential treatment from race officials because of his fame and wealth, and some people don't like him because he's British. Spanish fans racially abused Hamilton and his family during a testing session in Barcelona in 2008 and Brazil that year. Mindless bigotry aside, he's often been accused of arrogance. Nigel Mansell was quoted in 2011 as saying that Hamilton had an attitude problem, while Sir Jackie Stewart labeled Hamilton as someone with an arrogant personality. But whatever the reason, there are plenty of fans who love to hate Lewis Hamilton. Next, Nelson Piquet. Nelson Piquet was one of the most successful Formula One drivers of all time. However, he was also one of the most hated drivers in the sport. He was known for his aggressive driving style and tendency to make bold moves on the track. This made him a fan favorite and earned him a reputation for being a dirty driver. Despite his success, Piquet was often involved in an on-track incident and feuds with other drivers. His most famous rivalry with fellow Brazilian Ayrton Senna. The two drivers had a heated rivalry throughout their careers, but it peaked during the 1990 season. That year, Piquet and Senna collided while battling for the lead at the Japanese Grand Prix. After the race, the incident led to a massive fist fight between the two drivers. Another turning point for the image of Piquet was his infamous spat with Eliseo Salazar at the 1982 German Grand Prix, where Piquet punched Salazar. After their cars collided and came to a stop, Piquet retired from Formula 1 in 1992, but he remains one of the most controversial drivers in the sport's history. Next up is Alain Prost. Alain Prost, nicknamed the Professor for his always precise and no-compromise attitude, didn't always make friends with his teammates because he had set the bar high. The Frenchman had won 4 championships, but was also let go by Renault with 1983 and Ferrari in 1990 after criticizing them. However, the dislike for Prost flared up following his rivalry with fan favorite Ayrton Senna. The two came together in the 1989 season finale in Suzuka. The Gus Balestre, the governing body, led by another Frenchman, Jean-Marie Balestre, decided to penalize Senna, gave the Prost an unfair advantage, and is how he won the championship that year. A few years later, when Prost joined Williams, he included a clause that would stop Senna from joining him as a teammate. The Senna documentary captured their feud and led to more criticisms of Prost's behavior. Next is Ayrton Senna. Ayrton Senna was one of the most controversial Formula 1 drivers in history. His skill on the track was undeniable, but his temperament was often questioned. He was known for his aggressive driving style and his temper tantrums. Some fans loved to hate him, while others found him frustrating to watch. Senna's rivalry with Prost was one of the most famous in Formula 1 history. The two men were constantly at odds with each other, and their on-track battles were often intense. The rivalry came to a head in 1993 when Prost retired from Formula 1. Senna continued to dominate Formula 1 in the early 1990s. Senna was tragically killed at the San Marino Grand Prix in 1994. His death marked a turning point in the Formula 1, and many of the safety regulations that are in place today directly result from his death. Senna was one of the most talented drivers in Formula 1 history, and his legacy continues today. His fierce rivalries, aggressive driving style, and untimely death made him one of the most fascinating drivers in the sport's history. Love him or hate him, Ayrton Senna is a legend of Formula 1. And lastly, we have Andrea De Cesaris. Andrea De Cesaris was a Formula 1 driver who had a reputation for being wild child and was known for his reckless driving and crashing cars on more than one occasion. Everyone loved to hate this Italian driver, Andrea De Cesaris. He was known for being clumsy and always getting into controversies. However, people didn't need any more reasons to dislike him. His on-track misadventures were enough to earn him a reputation as one of the worst drivers in Formula 1 history. De Cesaris was known for causing racing accidents, which led him to being nicknamed Andrea De Crasharius. De Cesaris never won a race in Formula 1, but he did manage to hold on to his seat in the spot for an impressive 15 years. Although tobacco giant Marlboro's funding allowed him to stay in Formula 1 racing for a while, he was fired by Ligier after causing an accident at the 1985 Australian Grand Prix. Even after that, he continued racing until his retirement in 1994. Formula 1 drivers have always been a controversial bunch, from Alain Prost to Ayrton Senna. These men have driven fast and often crashed. Some fans love to hate them, while others find them frustrating to watch. No matter what your opinion is of these drivers, one thing is they make Formula 1 an exciting sport to follow. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like it. And don't forget to leave a comment below letting us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.